Now at 6, we have a severe thunderstorm watch and a tornado watch clipping our corners of Kansas, Oklahoma until the midnight hour. We'll have the latest on the storms on the way coming up.
Plus, details on a serious crash last night along I-44 just east of Carthage. Also, a fire breaks out at a home in the Royal Heights neighborhood in Joplin. And while yesterday was Earth Day, many were still celebrating today. You're watching the KOAM News at 6, and it starts right now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Warner. Today is an alert day as we have a chance of some strong to severe thunderstorms rolling through the area later tonight. We go straight to meteorologist Nick Kelly for the latest.
And before we even saw these watches pop up, Chris, we actually had a thin band of showers and thunderstorms that formed just to the west of 69 and passed on through. But the expectations going forward suggest they didn't really turn over the atmosphere. So much of southeast Kansas west of 69, that's a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight. And there is a tornado watch for central down to southern Oklahoma, but it does clip Washington County in northeast Oklahoma. That in effect until midnight as well. Actually, the storms from last night actually left behind a boundary or a little bit of an area of lift near the surface. That's what fired up this thin little band of showers and thunderstorms. Nothing too potent, though. We were not worried about that. But that has quickly exited. Most of us are dry for now, but not only are we keeping an eye on the developing storms ahead of the dry line nearing the 135 corridor and 35 as well, we're also keeping an eye on these developing thunderstorms just to the west of Sedan and certainly more numerous as you work north of Oklahoma City. In the short term, though, temperatures, they are warm up there for sure. Most of us mid to upper 70s right now. We're going to see these temperatures drop through the course of the night as our rain chances really ramp up by about 9 or 10 o'clock. Everybody drops into the 50s at least for tomorrow morning. Chris, more on the storms and what they'll do for tonight coming up in a few.
All right, Nick, thank you. New overnight, 3 people seriously injured after a crash along I-44 between Carthage and Sarcoxy. Crash happened just after 9 last night, 3 miles east of Fidelity. Officials with the Missouri State Highway Patrol tell us there were 3 separate crashes as not all of the vehicles hit each other. Officials say a Hobby Lobby tractor trailer was in the left lane and a pickup truck in the right when the Hobby Lobby truck clipped the pickup. Pickup overturned and the semi-truck crashed through the guardrail and hit the bridge for County Road 100 where it became stuck. Semi destroyed the guardrail, which then caused several other vehicles to crash into the guardrail. MoDOT officials were on scene overnight clearing the debris and inspecting the bridge. Crews responded to a fire this morning in the Royal Heights area in North Joplin. Just after 9, officials responded to this home at 2431 East Rolla. Firefighters were able to get the fire under control quickly. Officials tell us no one was in the home and there were no injuries. A heads up for drivers along I-49 in Newton County. Utility work begins tomorrow at 6 a.m. between Route V into Diamond and Missouri 175 or Gateway Drive. On-ramps will be closed in both directions at both Route V and Missouri 175. Law enforcement will slowly lead traffic through the work zone. Drivers are urged to take an alternate route if possible. The work not going to last too long, though, running from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Well, Friday was Earth Day, but the City of Pittsburgh used Saturday to bring the community out to celebrate. City Sustainability Advisory Committee hosted the celebration to educate folks on ways to make a difference on the planet's future. The main goal of the event was to raise awareness about climate change.
We're hoping is that people are just aware of the resources that we do have in Pittsburgh and just asking questions like, what can I do to make a difference with the earth and protect the earth, and to think about what government officials are doing and to get involved.
Tonight at 10, we'll hear more about Pittsburgh residents' efforts to be green. Jasper County Prosecutor's Office hosting a pancake breakfast and silent auction today to raise money for the families affected by the tragedy that took place on March 8th. All the money raised through the auction and breakfast going towards the Joplin Police Fraternal Order of Police.
My motivation was simply Joplin PD needs to know we support them as a community as a whole. They go out in times where nobody else will go, and they have our back and our best interests always at heart, and that's why.
The event was held at Forest Park Church in Joplin. Several high school students in McDonald County teamed up to help raise money for the daughter of one of their school counselors. Nora Beechner is the 5-year-old daughter of Counselor Joseph Beechner. Now, Nora was born with a rare tumor that causes her to grow too fast. The students held a 1-mile color fun run with all the proceeds going to help pay for Nora's medical expenses.
It's amazing. I've been a part of the McDonald County family for 2 years, and just to see this just shows me how much these people are family to us and how everybody's taking care of each other, so it's awesome.
Fundraiser is in partnership with the Children's Miracle Network of Freeman Health System. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Sergeant Richard Miller served in the Army in Kuwait, Iraq, and Afghanistan, his hometown, Miami. We're proud to recognize Sergeant Richard Miller, tonight's four-state hero. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about our other heroes or nominate one of your own, you can do that anytime at KOAMNewsNow.com. Still ahead on the KOAM News at 6, one southern state putting a ban on vaccine mandates and passports. Plus, why intermittent fasting may not be the best answer for losing weight. And the CDC releases new mortality data regarding the top 3 leading causes of death in the United States for 2021. Here's a look at a time lapse from our tower camera sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction. So we're continuing on the KOAM More Power project, and you can keep up to date on the latest with this project at KOAMNewsNow.com/power. Vaccine mandates and passports now banned in Mississippi. Republican Governor Tate Reeves signed House Bill 1509 into law on Friday. In a press release, Governor Reeves said HB 1509 protects Mississippians' medical and religious freedoms. The new legislation stops public institutions and agencies from discriminating against individuals based on their COVID-19 vaccination status. And employees who have a religious objection to receiving a COVID-19 vaccine will not be required to get one. In addition, it will be illegal to require children to get COVID-19 vaccines as a condition to attend both public and private schools. More people are trying out intermittent fasting, but periodically going without food might not be the silver bullet to weight loss. Researchers in China now say intermittent fasting is no more effective than calorie counting. In a study published Thursday, researchers looked at 2 groups of people who were overweight or significantly obese. One group was told to limit the amount of food they eat a day, while the other was only able to eat between certain times. Researchers found that both groups lost about the same weight after a year. But eating on a time-restricted schedule didn't produce any major difference in weight loss. You can find more information about the study in the New England Journal of Medicine. COVID-19, the 3rd leading cause of death in the United States in 2021 for the 2nd year in a row. Friday, the CDC released new mortality data, finding that heart disease and cancer were the 1st and 2nd leading cause of death. Researchers say in 2021, 693,000 people died from heart disease, about 605,000 people died from cancer, and more than 415,000 people died from COVID-19. That number up nearly 20% from 2020. COVID-19 death rates remain highest among people over the age of 85, but the rate was lower for the age group than in 2020. For all other age groups, COVID-19 death rates were higher in 2021. The data was published Friday in the CDC's Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report. Influenza dropped out of the top 10 causes of death in 2021, while suicide rose to the 10th leading cause of death overall. Well, the American Lung Association is out with the worst cities for air pollution, and the DOJ takes action to get people to mask up. Michael George has some of the week's top health stories.
The debate over masking on planes, trains, and other forms of public transportation intensified this week after a federal judge overturned the CDC's mask mandate. The Justice Department says it's appealing the ruling amid a rise in COVID cases in several states. Meanwhile, the FDA could reportedly authorize a COVID vaccine for young children in June. A COVID patient in London had the longest known infection, testing positive for 505 days before dying. That case was part of a UK study of immunocompromised patients with persistent infections. All had weakened immune systems from conditions including organ transplant, HIV, and cancer. And the American Lung Association released its list of the 25 worst cities for air pollution, and a vast majority are in California and the Pacific Northwest. Researchers say this is likely due to more and larger wildfires from heat and drought induced by climate change. Fresno and Bakersfield, California topped the list, followed by Fairbanks, Alaska. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Later on the news at 6, just in time for Earth Day, a Bright Drop driver has set the Guinness World Record. We'll tell you what for.
But first, we got to keep an eye on severe weather chances for tonight and heavy rainfall through Sunday. We'll break it all down next.
We don't get paid a penny.
Despite clouds covered throughout a good portion of the day and a couple of rounds of showers, even a couple of storms, we still trended warm for this Saturday afternoon. But the stage, unfortunately, is setting up for a severe potential that we need to keep a close eye on as we get this Saturday evening underway. In the pink here, that is a tornado watch clipping barely Washington County, Oklahoma until midnight, but everybody in the orange on the Kansas side west of 69, that's a severe thunderstorm watch taking us until midnight. But after we deal with the severe threat, look at the flood watches in place for much of southwest Missouri along and south of 44 and down the Grand Lake in northwest Arkansas. That's in fact until 7 a.m. Monday because of our storm system knocking on the door. If we somehow avoid any severe weather, we got to deal with the flooding that could very likely occur as the system really begins to push on through over the next 48 hours or so. Here was a thin band of afternoon showers and storms that fired up just to the east of Chanute, just to the east of Independence. We were hoping that this might overwork the atmosphere a little bit to try and lessen the severe threat, but given how we have these watches out and given how we don't have anything going on here, not only do we have to keep an eye on thunderstorms, not only thunderstorms forming along and ahead of the dry line and the cold front to the east of Salina and Wichita, we got to keep an eye on these cells too, coming out of north central Oklahoma, and not to mention a couple developing cells just to the southeast of Wichita around Winfield, west of Howard, west of Sedan. Plenty to watch as we go through the course of the evening, but Doug and I will be on top of things for sure. In the meantime, though, it's just cloudy. That's all it is right now, overlooking 7th Range Line in Joplin. Warm at 76 with that south wind gusting to 35. Dew points, this number's not too particularly high. It's in the mid-50s, but that's still sufficient to support any showers and storms that will develop throughout the course of the evening. Everybody's pretty much in the mid-70s right now, all because we are definitely for sure on the warmer side of this approaching frontal system. You can see how it covers a lot of real estate. There's a very thin dry line initiating the thunderstorms out to the west, but the cold front is going to overtake that dry line and ultimately push better rain chances our way as we go through the course of the night. Not to mention, we've got a good upper level low over the Dakotas. That's also aiding in the thunderstorm development. So all this means in the long term or long game here this evening, pretty much everybody north and west of I-44, we've got a low risk for severe weather from now until about 1 a.m. going into your Sunday morning. Main threats still appear to be large hail and high wind, but we can't rule out a couple of these cells trying to produce maybe a few isolated tornadoes. It's something, again, that we'll continue to watch as these storms get going out west and they work on in. Certainly past 8, 9, certainly 10 o'clock going into tonight. But once we get to about 1, 2 a.m., the worst of any severe threats should be out of here, but the main cold front, look at how it just continues to allow additional rain and thunderstorms to keep going, especially along the 44 corridor as we go throughout the course of the day tomorrow. And this will have an impact on temperatures too. We're going from 59 at 7 a.m. We'll drop to 53 by noon, and I really think we can only make do with upper 50s for the afternoon tomorrow. Then we're going to get all this out of here by the time we head towards tomorrow night and certainly for Monday morning. In terms of rain amounts though, while most of us north of the interstate, north of 44, could see up to an inch of rain, areas south of the interstate, they're probably fair game to pick up 2, possibly 3 inches of rain, hence why those flood watches are out. Once the system's out of here, though, we'll drop to the mid-40s Monday morning, 62 for a dry Monday afternoon, 64 Tuesday, 70 on Wednesday, both days staying dry. Then more rain chances to keep an eye on by the weekend, Chris.
Certainly something to keep an eye on. I know you'll keep us updated through the night as these storms roll in.
Yeah,
so.
On air, online, and on YouTube. Should the weather get really nasty, Doug and I will have things covered for sure.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Journey to sports, Missouri Southern baseball finishing up a series with Northeastern State.
Yeah, and the Lions set a school record today. We'll have those details Plus, Pitt State Track and Field competes in their final meet before the MIAA Outdoor Championships. Those highlights next. Pitt State baseball is on the road this weekend, taking on Newman. The Gorillas took the series from the Jets on Friday with a historic performance on the mound from Paul Panduro. Today they're going for the sweep, and they get it. Gorillas erupt for 8 runs in the 8th to win 11-3. Caleb Carr pinch hits, and in one at-bat, he hits a 3-run jack. Connor Van Cleve and Jordan Maxson each finish with 3 hits and 2 RBI. Missouri Southern trying to avoid a sweep against Northeastern State, but it's the Riverhawks who take Game 3 19-7. Southern hits 5 home runs today. Drew Davis has 2 of those. And with that, the Lions break the single-season home run record at Southern. They currently have 83 on the year. The Rough Riders are 25-1 in Region 16 play, with 2 more regional games on their schedule today. Crowder finishes up a series with Jefferson this afternoon. The Rough Riders won the first 2 games of the series on Friday. Today in Game 1, second inning, Josh Patrick crushes one to left. Crowder ties it up at 1. To the 6th inning now, Houston King hits it deep to the left field wall. That's an RBI double. Then Patrick again homers for the second time today, a 2-run jack. Crowder leads 14-7, still going in the 6th. Kenny DiClemente, that's a 3-run bomb, 10-run score in the 6th. Crowder stays hot, beating Jefferson 17-7. Crowder completes the sweep 13-2, the final for Game 2. They put up 8 runs in the first inning. Clayton Gray goes 2 for 3 with 4 RBI and a home run. The Rough Riders will play their final game of the regular season on Tuesday against NEO. Pitt State softball plays their final 2 road games today before wrapping up this season with a 4-game homestand. The Gorillas are at Northwest for a doubleheader. PSU drops both games 11-1 and 5-4. Kendall Davis goes 2 for 2 with a 2-run home run in Game 2. Gorillas Track and Field host the Pittsburgh State Tune-Up today, and as the name suggests, it's the final meet of the season before the MIAA Outdoor Championships. In the men's triple jump, LJ Kiner wins the event with his first attempt. He jumps 53 feet, 2.58 inches. On the track, Lois Rollins takes first place in the 110-meter hurdles. He breaks the stadium record today, crossing the finish line in 13.31 seconds. The Pitt State women lock up first, second, and third in the 100-meter hurdles. Freshman Hagen leads the way. She wins with a time of 14.05 seconds.
I could not do any of the things that these folks do, especially when it comes to track and when it comes to the hurdles. I can barely jump from here to there, let alone over an obstacle. So
track is so much fun to watch, and so many of the athletes compete in different events too that it just makes it even more impressive.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm at 13.31 seconds, was it, to get through? I mean, I can run fast, but not that fast.
Yeah, I got to be ready with my camera because it's over like that.
Yeah, you've got to be in place. So I do not envy what you have to do. Shooting news is a lot easier. They don't move that fast. Danny, thank you so much. A record-setting van driver. The latest next. Well, just in time for Earth Day, a Bright Drop driver has set the Guinness World Record for the greatest distance traveled by an electric van on a single charge. Bright Drop is a subsidiary of General Motors that makes commercial electric vans. Now, driver Stephen Marlin completed the 260-mile trip from New York City to Washington, D.C., He drove a Zevo 600, formerly known as the Bright Drop EV 600. The accomplishment was a collaboration with FedEx, and the trip wasn't just to set a record. The vehicle had an actual delivery to make. It dropped off sustainable cleaning products to an organic market in Washington, D.C. So electric technology for vehicles slowly but surely progressing to the point that it's going to be a lot more sustainable than what it already is. So less reliance on fuel and things like that.
It'll be interesting to watch, see how it all unfolds in the future.
Yeah, and something we need to watch very closely for our future severe weather.
Yeah, definitely with the severe thunderstorm watch for Kansas and a tornado watch just clipping northeast Oklahoma, both until midnight. But bottom line, we'll have to deal with showers and storms tonight, certainly through much of the day tomorrow. 66 is like a midnight high for our Sunday. I really think we'll spend much of the day in the 50s with the way these rain chances will pan out, Chris.
Nick, thank you. Danny, quick check in sports.
Crowder sweeps Jefferson today. They get to 27-1 in Region 16 play. Pretty
Not
good.
bad at all. Guys, thank you so much. That's our time for now. Remember, severe weather alerts anytime as they break. And we'll see you back here at 9 and 10. Thanks for making us part of your night.
Salon service is provided